Okay, before I leave the whole pride and shame and glory and revenge and gratitude thing, I really want to emphasize for you this is one of the most useful insights that Spinoza is going to help you think through. And I want to explain it in terms of my own self, why I really appreciate Spinoza. Now, it's easy when you first read Spinoza and you first start to understand this notion of pride and how pride fundamentally screws you up. So this drug that you're addicted to. It's very easy to see it in other people. You see it in other people all over the place, right? You start seeing how crazy everybody else is, how full of self they are. And so it's it's a natural, and it's another element of pride. It's natural for you to turn this out on other people. Like if you had a camera, it's like, well, I can see this in everybody around me. And you can see how people get so easily upset about things and how they discount what you do or others do for them and how quick they are to take credit for things, even things that they didn't even do, but they'll find a way to take credit for it because people are proud and people are crazy. But the real value of Spinoza is resisting the temptation. And I mean this, it's a temptation because it's easy. It's easy to see Spinoza in everybody else. But the only value of Spinoza is not in your prideful finding it in everybody else. That's just pride. That's you. Spinoza is only useful for you. And I'm going to explain this in terms of some really great story in the Christian tradition. When Jesus is going to die, and I think you're all familiar with the story of Jesus, right? He has this Last Supper with his followers, his disciples, his closest band, right? The apostles. And he says to them, one of you guys is going to betray me. Now, I imagine if I were in that group, I'd be like, oh yeah, going to be Judas. Definitely going to be Judas. Judas is the guy. He's got the purse. He's the one who's always making backdoor deals. And that guy, he's shifty. Or I'd think, oh, is it going to be that guy or that guy or that guy, right? That's your natural tendency, right? That's pride. But what these men did, and if there were women, I would imagine, for instance, Martha and others would have done the same. Martha and Mary and so anyways, though, they said, is it me? Right? They each individually went to Jesus and said, am I going to be the guy? Is it I? And that's how you need to read Spinoza. You don't read Spinoza to find out what's wrong with everybody else in the world, although you're going to get all of that. That's the easy part. The hard part is when you keep and with great effort and constant discipline, apply it to yourself. So, do you notice when you are annoying to others? Do you notice when you indulge in glory? Do you notice when you take credit for as much as you can and that you overestimate the good you do to others? For instance, I do the dishes sometimes. I don't know how many times I do the dishes compared to other people doing the dishes in my home. But how much do you think I do the dishes compared to everybody else? Right? The temptation is for me to think that I'm the only one who does dishes around here. And all you people never clean up after yourselves in the kitchen. I'm always doing dishes, always. It's stupid. That's me being proud. And even if there is some truth in it, which I doubt it, honestly, the truth is that if I indulge in the thoughts that I'm the one who's doing blah, 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 blah good, then I am making myself annoying to everybody else that I live with, without a doubt. Now, how do I know that without a doubt? Because I know that everybody I live with is proud, just like I am. They're not worse than me. In fact, they're probably better than I am in most of the ways. But if they have any pride in them, then anytime I think I'm doing things for them, what are they thinking? They're thinking they deserve it. So if I try to eke out and squeeze as much gratitude out of them as I can get, however I can get it, I'm going to be annoying to them. There's no doubt about it. I will be annoying to them. The only way that I will get gratitude from them as if I'm doing what in my mind is way above and beyond, but in their mind is barely meeting or just barely above what they deserve. And so whenever I run around looking for gratitude, I can guarantee what I'm doing is being proud. Now, it's probably true that they're being proud, but that is not my business. Because the more and more that I see them being proud, the more and more I'm being proud. And the answer to this problem is not finding the problem in other people. That's what pride does. That is what pride does, and it's a really seductive drug. So you have to relentlessly turn this back on yourself and figure out how you are being proud at every possible moment. Now, someone out there is saying, okay, then doesn't that mean people are going to walk all over me? Because if I live with proud people, I'll constantly be bending over backwards and they'll never be grateful. And the answer is, that's true. But that's already true. You're not going to change that. That is just the way people are. Deal with it. You're not going to change them. And running around trying to change them is not going to help you. So then what do, you say? Well, if you're lucky, you will find people who are not so proud, who are, the way Spinoza is going to talk about this, who are reasonable. The ultimate aim is to find people who are reasonable. But here the question is, if someone else is reasonable, why would they want to spend time with you if you're proud? They wouldn't. Just like as you become reasonable, you will more and more reduce the amount of damage proud people can do to you. But you'll do it reasonably. That doesn't mean you're going to cut everybody out of your life. That's unreasonable. You get more good out of everyone, even proud people, than you ever do by living alone. So you need to live with other people. But the more and more you can live with reasonable people, the better for you. Because reasonable people turn their pride on themselves and try to eradicate it. Because it's not reasonable to be proud. It just makes you annoying. And so the more and more you get rid of being annoying, the better it is for you among proud people. So no matter what, the only answer you have in your life is to stop being proud, to try to be reasonable, because first of all, you'll get along better with proud people. And second of all, you might run into reasonable people who will like you and you will like them, because together you will be reasonable with one another. And we're going to talk more about this ideal in a little bit. But what I want to emphasize in this video is the only answer to pride is not finding this in other people. You will never be happy if you are proud. And you will never be happy finding problems with others, including recognizing their pride. It is true, it is absolutely true that everybody is proud. And it will be the easiest thing in the world to see it in others. And it should make you laugh when you find yourself doing it. And then you should turn it on yourself and stop being so annoying. We're going to talk about the antidote when we get to book 5. But we still have a lot of work to do to figure out why it is that pride and all of the emotions that come from it are so doggone hard to get rid of. So we'll talk about that more in coming videos.